Hi, I'm Caroline Moore. I'm just like Joe Rogan, but with low iron. And this is
Tread on me. Baby, tread on me.
Welcome to the first episode of Tread on Me, a show ultimately about pace, progress, impact, and resistance. Do we surrender to the cultural events that are treading on us, or do we resist? As your treader-in-chief, I'll be making those tough calls, but I'm not here alone. I'm here with my producer, Khaki. Khaki, say hi. Khaki is just the best, y'all. She schedules the shoots, greases the treadmill, steams my unitards. She's also editing the green screen behind me. Will this green screen show exactly what I'm talking about? Depends on my understanding of copyright laws and how brave I feel. Because I can't afford another lawsuit, y'all. Not after the tire fire. I asked Khaki about fair use and she threw up. She's very frazzled, bless her heart. She ain't got no eyelids. I don't think she can cry. But due to her condition, she sees everything, which is why I'm so glad she's here. I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait to get into this show. So, let's get into it. Let's get into the culture that is treading on us and see if we should surrender. So, what is treading on us right now? 2025. Today is March 30th, and so far the city of Los Angeles, Joann's Fabrics, the federal government have all gone up in flames. Heidi Montag had the #1 album on iTunes, Hoda left the Today Show, and I had to buy a tushy cushion for my sciatica. So yeah, 2025 is treading on us. But I feel like before I decide if we should surrender, we gotta look at 2024, y'all, okay? Don't forget who you are and where you came from. So let's do it. Let's look at 2024. Y'all, I got tread on last year. Yeah, and I knew I would. I knew 2024 was going to be a whack year when Pantone announced the 2024 color of the year would be peach fuzz. Khaki, can we get that color up? Y'all, what is this? This is heinous. This doesn't even dare to be ugly. It's not inspiring, it's lacking spirit. And on top of that, the name Peach Fuzz, it connotes baby mustache, adolescence, puberty, awkward teen years, new socialization. But guess what? That's what 2024 was. Pantone knew. Khaki, can we do something about this Peach Fuzz though? It is probably washing me out. Add some dimension, do something, make it less severe. Thank you so much. 2024 was truly a peach fuzz year. There were so many adolescent happenings across the board. But let's get into the cultural ones first. I think the first peach fuzz, or the biggest peach fuzz moment of 2024 was Brat, which yes, that is a very grown and green album. However, the Brat sentiment has the energy of adolescence, the carelessness, and the passion. And I think that's why it was such a big hit. I loved it. I had a Brat-themed birthday back in June where we paid tribute to JoJo Siwa because she is a brat, but not Brat. And it's important to honor both. Moving on to Moodang. Moodang was a pygmy hippo in Thailand that the internet became obsessed with for about 2 weeks. And just like a middle school pet, they forgot it. Y'all, Moodang fell off. I don't even know if she's still alive. I did see a Moodang calendar on the Facebook Marketplace the other day, well into 2025, so I don't think we'll ever know. But I'm not trying to be a hater. Shout out to the animals, love them. Love Fiona the hippo, the gay penguins, and of course, rest in peace Harambe. Moving on to Ray Gun at the Olympics. I mean, Ray Gun just really gave that delusional student at the middle school talent show that just pours their heart into a very tragic performance that is talked about for years. Honestly, it becomes so ironically iconic, nobody ever forgets it. Also, can we sidebar about those French Olympic opening ceremonies? Y'all, the French only make sense to the French. The only thing that made sense to me was watching Peyton Manning and Kelly Clarkson at a loss for words as the French dancers fumbled the can on a riverbank. 10 out of 10, no notes. Moving on to the celebrity lookalike contest. Such a peach fuzz moment. Now, the first one I loved. The Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest was so funny. It was so original, and dare I say, a grassroots movement. But then all the unfunnies across the nation started copying it, started doing their own, and I mean, what is more adolescent than just beating a joke to the ground? So the lookalike contest, very peach fuzz. Moving on to ChatGPT. Becoming obsessed with an interactive computer program is kind of a modern rite of passage for youth. I guess mine was Cha-Cha. Do y'all remember Cha-Cha? You could text Cha-Cha 242-242 and ask it a question, and real humans would respond with the answer. That was fun. Cha-Cha walked, so ChatGPT could destroy humanity. Moving on to the Jennifer Lopez hate. I woke up one morning last year in the spring, and suddenly the entire internet hated Jennifer Lopez. It reminded me of that bandwagon hate in middle school where everybody just starts hating someone. And you know what? I've been there. I've done that. And I've learned something and I've grown, just like Tyra Banks told me to. But it just came out of nowhere. And they didn't even have any decent or original reasons. All of the reasons to hate J-Lo were just nothing new. Diva allegations, old. Breakup rumors, old. Breakup rumors specifically about Ben Affleck, old. Nothing is new under the sun when it comes to J-Lo. That's the fun of it. Do you not want to be entertained by a beautiful woman? I love J-Lo, but the hate truly was random. It reminded me of that one day in high school when everybody showed up saying, I really hate the word moist. You can't all hate the word moist, especially on the same day. It's not an original hate. It's not an original thought. Also, if you still hate the word moist in 2025, you're scared of yourself. It's not even the worst word. You know what the worst word is? Dogma. Ugh. Doesn't sound like what it is. Doesn't flow off the tongue. Dogma is some kind of doctrine? Established principle? No, it sounds like a fungus that grows on tree bark or under a toenail. It's nasty. Also, speaking of dogma, let's move on to our final peach fuzz cultural moment, and that is just the simplified worldviews. Now, obviously, those aren't really new to humanity, but I feel like last year we regressed even more. Remember in middle school when everybody gained awareness and they'd show up to school going, some men just want to watch the world burn. That's fine for middle schoolers. Grown adults were talking like this. It was weird. And then, the biggest indicator of the simplified worldviews, regressing, all those unrealistic dreams of homesteading and the trad wife thing. What? Why are y'all acting like pilgrims? Get off this pilgrim frequency. Unbuckle your hat, disembark the Mayflower, and string Tinashe. Those are it for the cultural moments, but I thought I'd be vulnerable and share some of my personal peach fuzz moments. First up, I had some physical changes last year. A second puberty. First up, I had some unexplained hormonal imbalances. Nobody knows what's going on there, and they have since forgotten it. Also, I got diagnosed with capillaritis, which I might be mispronouncing. Also, according to my doctor, it is common in old men. So I'm actually defying gender stereotypes, okay? Leaking blood vessels, whoa. I also got diagnosed with astigmatism, brain. Nerve inflammation, I did touch on my sciatica earlier. I sprained my toe, which I still have to duct tape for big events such as this. And I passed my third kidney stone. It's time for a girl. Also, in terms of new socialization, I moved. I transferred states from Tennessee to California, moved to LA at the end of 2023. But in 2024, I had to make new friends, which was great. I've actually made so many wonderful friends here in LA, and that is the crazy part, y'all. Nothing bad actually happened to me last year. I just felt weird. And that's adolescence. That's peach fuzz, baby. It was a peach fuzz year. And what do you do in the face of your peach fuzz moments, in the face of adolescence, in the face of puberty? You surrender. And that's what I did. And I actually realized this pretty early on. I actually found a diary entry of mine from last year, from April. Also, diary entry is kind of a generous term here. Every few months, I just write some life updates down on a sheet of paper, college rule, of course, shove it into a drawer, and forget about it. But I did find a journal entry from last year. Khaki, can you punch it up? I think I hid it somewhere in my boots. Oh my God. We're hopping off. Oh my God, it's so far in my boots. And we're back on. I will not be stopped, and we aren't cutting. Okay, so here's my diary entry from April 8th, 2024. Khaki, can you put it up on the screen behind me, but blur out everything else because my feelings are embarrassing? Thank you. April 8th, 2024. I barely get any creative work done, but I think that's the vibe now. I'm so eloquent, but I was realizing something. I was realizing it was a time for surrender. So what did surrender look like to me last year? Well, I was so creatively unproductive. It was awful. I hated it. But it made me into the woman that I am today, which is also awful. Anyways, I'm not the only one who had to surrender last year. A lot of my friends were kind of riding this wave of surrender. I mean, even the Orcas were. They barely sank a yacht last year. The summer before, they sank so many. But last year, maybe one or two. That's it. So yeah, 2024 was treading on us. But we, all God's creatures, great and small, surrendered. So, to recap, 2024 was treading on us, we surrendered. 2025 is treading on us. What do we do? Well, we gotta ask the elders over at Pantone. What do your special eyes see? Well, the 2025 Pantone color of the year is, khaki drum roll please, Mocha Mousse. I like this. It's so much better than peach fuzz, umpteen times better. I mean, it's still not my favorite color. They don't call me Jewel Tone Carol for nothing. But it's nice. Khaki, what's your favorite color? Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. I like this. I like the Mocha Mousse aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of 2025. The numbers together, it looks better than 2024. And so much better than 2020. See, that's how we should have known, y'all. Okay, 2020, two symmetrical, two identical twins, uncanny valley. We should have known what was coming, okay? But 2025, I like this. And the 2 and the 5, I like them together, back to back. These are fraternal twins. These are the Olsens. The 2 is Ashley, Mary Kate is the 5, duh. But let's see what Pantone has to say about Mocha Mousse, which is making me get out these index cards once again for my boots. That one a little better khaki, don't you think? Okay. Here is what Pantone has to say about Mocha Mousse. Capturing a global mood of connection, comfort, and harmony. It's rich, warm, indulgent. Underpinned by our desire for everyday pleasures, Pantone 17-12-30 Mocha Mousse expresses a level of thoughtful indulgence, sophisticated and lush. Yet at the same time, an unpretentious classic, Pantone 17-12-30 Mocha Mousse extends our perceptions of the browns from being humble and grounded to embrace aspirational and luxe. I hand wrote these, which is why that was a little rough. I did not include punctuation, so sorry. But y'all, Pantone is trying to tell us something here. I'm gonna read between the lines. And I think Pantone is telling us we're only gonna save ourselves. Mocha Mousse is realizing that gold is flashy, but it's not rich. Mocha Mousse spurns the false idols of gaudy opulence, not out of dogma or established doctrine, but out of maturity. Mocha Mousse is knowing that you deserve to feel good, not because you're royalty, not because you're a princess, but but because you're a person. And therefore, by rejecting the doctrine of suffering, Mocha Moose is inherently resistant. That's why we're not surrendering this year. Not under her watch. Not on Mocha Moose's 2025. So, by the powers vested in me as your treader-in-chief, I declare that yes, 2025 is treading on us, but we will resist. But resist what? Well, that's kind of a loaded question, Khaki. I do think if we're going to aim for the global harmony that Mocha Moose strives for, we need to be on the same page, more or less. And that is kind of doubtful. I mean, can we even agree on what year it is? Yeah, I know I sound like an MSNBC pundit. I heard that. But I do think we have a weird relationship to time right now. And that's why I think we have to resist the allure of the past. People are clinging to the past or versions of the past. I'm not saying to forget the past. Okay, don't forget who you are and where you came from. But people are trying to relive, recreate, and rebrand history, which is already written by the victors, I know. But it's getting out of hand. People are resurrecting woolly mammoths, traditional values, and just about every show and movie under the sun. And this has been going on for a decade. I think X-Files was the first one to reboot back in 2015. Every day since, we hear about a new show or a movie, a prequel, a sequel, a squeakquel, getting greenlit. Rebooting Shaggy is committing treachery against the soul itself. What are we doing here? I feel like I am living in someone else's memory. Nothing is new. And of course, I know there's art outside the mainstream. There's art outside this country. I consume it. I'm a fan. But what I'm saying is 10 years of reboots is an indicator of a sick society. And I know there are other much more grim indicators than just franchises. I know. We're over here worried about AI when we are turning ourselves into robots. We are predictable, obedient, and boring. Worst of all. And this isn't a pitch for hope, by the way. Hope is a 2012 emotion. That's for when we thought we were getting Coney, y'all. Okay? But, oh, there she goes. Yes, Khaki, I know. I know it's human nature to create and destroy. It's cyclical, but can we just release our grasp on the past just a little bit? We don't always have to repeat it. Uh-oh. Here come the philosophical police. They're here to tell me about eternal recurrence. As a Battlestar Galactica stan, I know about eternal recurrence. I know all this has happened before, and all of this will happen again. But if time is a flat circle, then why am I so thick?
La la la, la la.
Well, folks, that concludes the first episode of Tread on Me. I can't wait to see how this show evolves. Will I have a signature strut by the end of the season? I feel like, y'all, at this point, I'm walking like this. So we got to work on my stamina. Thank you so much to my producer, Khaki. She really is the best. Thank you to my friends who helped me make this. And thank you to my mom who sewed this skirt for me. I texted her this picture of Rosalia and she said, I'm gonna make that in 3, 2, 1. And she did, and she shipped it across the country real fast. Please like and subscribe so I can buy another tushy cushion for my car. And let me know what's trending on you in the comments. It just might make the show. I have yet to develop a sign-off, so I'm just gonna steal someone else's. Creds out. Khaki, the credits. Credits.